normal, like superiority complex we get from New South Wales. It's much like the weighting in this debate. You got 2v1, but Queenslanders love being the underdog.
Sorry, where do you live now?
Yeah, I'm always a Queenslander.
One sec. Week 1 Super Rugby Pacific, full of blockbusters, none bigger than the Reds and the Tahs. Now, representing the Tahs on this occasion, someone who's never lost to the Reds, Sera Naiqama, nor has Stephen Hoiles ever lost to the Reds, and nor has Michael Atkinson ever lost to the Waratahs.
Or played for the Reds.
Yeah, there you go. But you are representing Queensland. Exactly right. So, Sers, let's start with you. Why will the Tahs get it done against the Reds week 1?
I think on paper the Waratahs have a much stronger forward pack. You're looking at the likes of an Angus Bell, David Parecki, you've got Jed Holloway sitting there.
Echo, don't be shy. Hop in.
Oh, look, it's just normal, like superiority complex we get from New South Wales. It's much like the weighting in this debate. You got 2v1.
How big a loss for the Reds is Taniela? I mean, it's almost self-evident, but he hasn't. He's been on and off and in and out. And is it massive?
They based so much of their play in the last few years on the Brad Thorne offset piece, usually because he was so dominant, particularly in the scrum. So he's a huge loss. They got a couple of experienced bookends in Alec Hodgman and Jeffrey Tumang-Allen. Hopefully might, prop up, and pardon the pun, the scrum a little bit.
Yeah, that story came out about Jordan Patai. He just wants him to be himself. So pressure seems to be on Darren Coleman. He's been put on notice. How does that feed into how they need to start the season?
Oh, it'll be playing hugely on their mind that they all have to play really well to keep their jobs, including Darren Coleman. And I think for them, it is really, really important for them to make a statement, and there's no better way to do it than against a strong Queensland Red side.
The big question for the Tahs is who's going to be the number 10. Ben Donaldson spent 90% of the last 2 years in that jersey. Will Harrison spent the last 2 years injured. That was his jersey prior to that. Payne Edmed's done a great job in there in previous years. I don't know if the Tahs are going to be settled enough in the early rounds to jump out of the blocks, and the problem is they've got a tough month, and you've got to start well in Super Rugby.
The conversation around who plays 10, that's not a conversation that only the Tahs are having. The Reds are having a similar conversation, and other teams, but who plays 10 for the Reds?
I think it's probably going to be Harry McLaughlin-Phillips, a guy with a pretty big ceiling, huge raps in Australian rugby circles. James O'Connor's got an injury which I think might be a little more serious than being led on. Tom Liner's there as well. We got to see him in Super Rugby Pacific last year, but I think Harry's a more rounded player. But he's got Tate McDermott on his inside, who, as we know, is Wallaby vice-captain.
Who wins and why? 20 seconds.
I think the Waratahs will win purely because they have so much to prove this season, and starting off on a strong note will be crucial for their campaign this year.
Stephen?
I'll go Tahs because I haven't seen enough of either side at the moment, and I'm sticking strong in New South Wales.
He's got splinters in his bum.
Can I go Brumbies?
Yeah.
I'm going the Reds because I've never lost to the Tahs. I don't have much else to lean on. No, I'm going the Reds. 2 reasons: the Cauldron and Queenslander.
There you go. Apparently it means something. You're going to find out. You're going to see every moment right here on Stan Sport.